And example like bodybuilding, when the competition is in June, it's pointless for us to test them in May. So what we'll do, we test them 2 or 3 months before, where that's where they do their flexing the muscle and everything. Okay. This is how we do our national testing program. So we will select all the top athletes, whoever in the national team, the top athletes. Like for this year, we have 100 athletes. We put them in the registered testing pool, and then we will notify them that they're in our RTP. Once they're in our RTP, they are required to give their information, where they train, and where their accommodation and everything. Because then with the information that we get, we'll do our test distribution plan, we call it TDP, to do the testing without notice, no notice test. Okay? What we do, we use this smart testing strategy, because like example like cycling or marathon runner, they are endurance sports, they use EPO. So what we do for this particular sport, whenever we send the sample to the lab, we will put extra analysis, like ask the lab to do the EPO test. Okay? So there will be more than one standard test for certain sports. And then let's say like some of the team, some of the athletes that we feel that they train 1 month in other countries. So we will, like sometimes we feel suspicious why they must train in other countries for 1 month. So we feel that maybe they want to run from us. So what we do, we will call our counterpart to do the same testing. Okay? So throughout the year, they'll be tested. So the aim of this smart testing is to test the right athlete for the right substance at the right time. And this is because it's pointless for me to do a steroid test for golfer or chess player. Okay? That's why, as I mentioned earlier, for cycling and marathon runner, we do EPO test. Okay? For bodybuilding, the standard test, but more on the steroidal profile. It is the new one, new method to detect doping, because WADA feel that only on testing is difficult to detect doping, because some of the athletes use hormone. It's very difficult to detect doping. So that's why they come up with this athlete biological passport, where there will be a periodical database where we know the pattern of the athlete. Okay, whenever he uses hormone, then the lab will inform us, and then we will do the test. Okay. To understand more on how the process of anti-doping, the process of sample collection, I would like to share this. This video is a 4-minute video, so please.
Doping control is an essential part of anti-doping programs to promote and protect the integrity of sport and the health of athletes. Testing is carried out in accordance with the World Anti-Doping Code and a series of international standards. Hi, I am a doping control officer, also known as a DCO. I play a major role in protecting your rights in the doping control process, which consists of 5 phases. Athlete selection, athlete notification, sample collection, sample analysis, and results management. How can you be selected for testing? Testing can be conducted in 2 situations: in competition and out of competition. For in-competition testing, the selection may occur in a number of ways, including by random selection, based on finishing position, or by being targeted for a particular reason. For out-of-competition testing, you may be tested anytime, anywhere, with no advance notice. If you have been identified in a registered testing pool, you will be required to provide whereabouts information. You may be tested at home, at your training location, or other relevant locations. How will you be notified? The notification process is the same for both in and out of competition testing. If you are selected for testing, I will show you my DCO accreditation to demonstrate that I am authorized to conduct testing. I will also explain your rights and responsibilities in the doping control process and ask you to sign a form. Once you have been notified, you must report immediately to the doping control station. You may request a delay for a valid reason, such as you are taking part in a medal ceremony, you must attend a press conference, you require medical treatment. Upon notification, a DCO or chaperone will stay at your side at all times until the testing process has been completed. What is the sample collection process? During this process, you also have specific rights, such as having a representative with you, as well as certain responsibilities. I will first ask you for a valid photo ID to confirm your identity. You will be asked to provide one or more urine samples and/or blood samples. When you are ready to provide a urine sample, a doping control official of the same gender as you will witness the passing of the sample and will stay with you until you provide a sample that meets all requirements. You will then be asked to divide the urine sample into B and A bottles and then seal them. Throughout the process, you will be the only one to handle the sample collection equipment, unless you require assistance. Finally, you will be asked to review and sign the doping control form. The samples and a copy of the form that does not disclose your identity will be sent to a WADA accredited laboratory, while the other copies will go to the relevant anti-doping organizations. A copy of the form will also be provided to you. How are the samples analyzed? Once your A sample arrives at the laboratory, it will be opened and analyzed. The B sample will be securely stored. Should the A sample reveal an adverse analytical finding, the B sample will be analyzed to confirm the result. How are the results managed? The lab will report the results to the anti-doping organization responsible for results management. A copy will be sent to WADA to ensure the accountability of the process. In the event of an adverse analytical finding, your rights include requesting and attending the B sample analysis within set deadlines, a fair hearing, and the right to appeal. As an essential deterrent, a standard doping control process across all countries helps protect the right of athletes to compete on a level playing field in the true spirit of sport.
Testing. Okay, I here also want to share about the cost of a anti-doping test. So here in Malaysia, what we do whenever we collect the sample, we send to the lab in India or in Bangkok, the WADA accredited lab. So what we pay to India is for one test is 200 USD. So if you count the process, the testing and the testing fees, the courier service fees and everything, it will come to 1,000 ringgit per sample. So in average, we do 1,000 samples a year. So that's already 1 million just for testing. Okay. Now the second pillar for education. Okay, this is very normal that all our athletes, okay, this is the instant mentality where they want to run faster, stronger, and want to be more muscular. So what we do in our education is we teach them, we teach them the do and don'ts, and what they can take, what substance are okay to take and not to take. Okay, we run all the seminars, okay? And what I also came up with one tool that now normally whenever the athlete get caught for doping, the first thing they will tell that no, they don't know about this, or some other thing they will blame ISN or blame ADAMAS that they don't know. So what we come up with, there's a new tool, we call it athlete learning program about health and anti-doping. So it's a compulsory for all the national athletes now to go through this syllabus and to get a certificate. So that means there's no any excuse that they ignorance or maybe they don't know. Okay, this is what we do. And same as for the coaches, that's what I think is for the coaches. We also tell them about the anti-doping awareness, and for them, they also have to go through some syllabus and tests, especially for the level 3 coaches, where it's a compulsory for them to pass the anti-doping test. And they will get this certification, as an example. It's compulsory. Okay? When you want to be a coach for level 3, it's compulsory that you have to go. Okay? These are some pictures that we do. Outreach program, and then testing, education program. Okay? The third pillar is the intelligence and investigation. This is the new pillar for us. Only was implemented this year, 2015. This when example like earlier when I showed the first slide, there's only for testing there's only one anti-doping rule violation. But if you implement this, we can catch more dopers through our investigation. Okay, like example like Lance Armstrong will test few hundred times, but not even one was detected to have presence of substance. So what actually caught him through investigation until they have the detail of his online purchase of banned substance. So that's why we want to implement this. So we already in touch with other government agencies like customs, police, and everything. So this is the way forward. There's also a talk that if let's say one athlete from Europe they want to go to Australia, they'll do a transit stop in our region here because here we don't do investigation and everything. So what they do before they go to Australia, okay, they come to this region, they do all the doping here, then they fly over to Australia. Okay, so that's why we want to stop all this. So we want to strengthen our rules and regulation to stop all that. Okay. So this is another one that ADAMAS is giving service, that those athletes who are injured, okay, we help them to apply for therapeutic use exemption. Okay, only for therapeutical use. Okay. So just to share, okay,